and he's here to talk to us about his research and development in the fishing industries. Give him a warm welcome, Mr. D-Man. Wow, nice to see you again.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
Well, good lately, but our last trip out into the ocean went not so successful. We found things that were just not what we were looking for.
Right, okay, so, Mr. D-Man has been working on the cruelty that fishing does to the actual ocean life. Tell us more about that.
Well, first off, let's see how many audience members fish.
Okay, that's a large chunk, probably 3/4.
I'd say it's a sport. It's considered a sport, but that means you consider murder a sport.
Explain.
Well, when you're fishing, you're trying to kill the fish and you're gonna eat it, or you're.
But they're just fish. I mean, come on, they don't have emotions or feelings.
Okay, we'll switch it around. Say it's your dog that lives at your house and he gets
Rusty?
fish.
Are you kidding? That would be terrible.
Exactly. Pretend it's your dog. So now that's what we scientists discover, why it's so cruel. So just pretend that it's your own household animal that's getting killed. Could you imagine?
You're right. I never thought about that. So are you saying fish aren't just floating vegetables? They have feelings and thoughts?
Feelings, emotions, personalities that we don't even realize.
Wow, and we're killing them.
We're
day
killing
by day.
innocent lives.
In a sport?
In a sport. I don't know how it got recognized. Maybe a hobby, but I don't even see the fact of that. Now, there's 3 types of fishing, you know?
Okay.
There's, obviously the most popular one, getting on a reel and fishing her in. Definitely not the most safe for those fish.
I mean, what is that? That will rip the fish's mouth open?
Of course.
Cut it up. Even if you throw it back, you're still providing a lot of pain. I mean, how would you like it if someone threw a hook at you and it bloodied up your cheek? Even if they threw you back on land.
Reminds me of that Dark Knight movie. You know that movie?
Yes.
Where Joker has this knife.
That's just,
Imagine that. I was just grossed out by that.
Ugh.
Now, there's other types of fishing where you have your net, which is less harmful to the fish, but
yeah, it's probably would make their death a lot less painful.
Less painful, but still, imagine having us oxygen, and they need water to survive for their gills. So imagine if we ran out of oxygen. That's still a lot of suffering that they must go through.
Yes, definitely.
And they do.
So inhumane.
Yeah, but the third and final fishing that we're going to talk about today is fish farming, which is actually pretty good with the new developments.
Fish farming, I have never heard of it.
Well, it's a big gathering where the companies come together and they gather fish in a safer manner than going out on the old line and fishing it in. And it's actually become quite popular in Canada, BC leading the way.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to fish and you want fish for dinner tonight, I encourage you to look at who made it and see where it's coming from. Or if you're catching your own fish, try not to make them suffer, because just imagine...
Use a net.
Now, another topic of fishing, of course, is how we can prevent this from happening.
Yeah, I mean, if 3/4 of our viewer audience have fished, imagine how many Americans and Canadians that is.
That's probably a lot. I'm guessing over 300 million.
Yeah.
Dr. Will. Now, see, when you're fishing, you're not really thinking about what you're doing. You're just doing it for the fun of it.
Yeah, and now that you mention it, I fish for fun a lot, but it really isn't that fun, killing.
I know. Who would have thought that killing could be made into a sport,
For
a hobby,
millions and millions of people worldwide.
and they make millions of dollars. And
Yeah.
sometimes they don't even do it for the money, for the fish, to eat it. They do it to beat their best friend out or to catch the largest fish in the world.
Ridiculous, isn't it?
We're done.
Yeah.
You're not even in the picture.